Very nice. I'm riding a pillow today. Alright, ladies, gentlemen, and kitties, today I'll be riding what I can call as a pillow. The second priciest model in the BMW lineup. It's the K1600 GT. It is one of BMW's premier sport touring bikes on the lineup. This was just a last minute decision because I've ridden most of their bikes already that I wanted. Alright, there you go. Let me just turn off the stereo. We don't need distractions. That's what I said. This is their flagship sport touring bike. Feels expensive already as it is. First impressions for now. This bike is heavy. Ergonomics check. 6'3", 200 to 220 pounds, 32-inch inseam, cruiser style. Right there. Wow. This will be my first time riding a 6-cylinder bike. Whoa, sounds nice already. Oh, it sounds nice. Oh, power windows. A power windshield. Okay, just like the Yamaha FJR. Wow, this bike is like a cloud. No wonder there's a market for it. It feels like a BMW car in here. I don't know if you can hear it. It sounds delicious. This bike is buttery smooth. And once you get going, you don't feel the weight too much. It's not as intimidating. These elevated clip-ons really help your riding position, and it's a relaxing bike. It has a similar riding position as a naked bike, so that's a bonus if you're a naked bike rider. Okay, throttle mode, let's go to road. We'll just keep it to road. And then, okay, there's so many switches here. As you can see right here, it's just crazy amount of switches. Okay. That's what I said. This is the second most expensive model in the BMW motorcycle line. This bike slots below the K1600 GTL. L means with more luggage. That's what I think of it. It looks like a Goldwing. It's an extended touring bike. Oh, that's a nice Model A or whatever. Oh, there's a train, so we're diverting a bit. This engine sounds very nice. There's a big bump right there. Just floats through. You can feel the size of this thing. And of course, this bike is a 6-cylinder, so expect it to be stupid smooth. I'm just relaxing. It's like a couch. It rides like a couch. Take note, I haven't ridden the Goldwing yet. That's the pinnacle to most people. This one has all the toys that you need in a bike. It has stereo, it has intercom. As you can see, it has a navigation. Leaning this thing is easy. This GT is very nice to ride. Another thing too, I like the R1200 GS series, or any GS for that matter. The speedometer gauge has a bigger size compared to the rest of them. It's somewhat a little legible, but it's still distracting in my opinion. For that, good thing there's a secondary speedometer right there in the middle. That's very helpful. And of course, this bike is so quiet. I have to rev it up to know that I'm moving, because this bike is so refined. You have to look at your tachometer on your right side just to know. Ooh, nice E36. Okay, just to know where you're going. Like any premium BMW bikes in the on their lineup, this one has cruise control, heated grips, navigation optional, I think. This one has a stereo system, Bluetooth enabled also, multiple compartments in the front, the back, Shift Pro Assist, the quick shifter up and down, like the XR, the R, the GS Rally that I tested before right there. And also just like the GS, it has a hill holder assist. If you hold it long enough, I think it engages. But for some reason it's not, because we're not in a incline or decline. And also, oh yeah, power windshield. Wow, it's so quiet. Clutch engagement is like 80% before you let it go. 100% is fully let go. 80% before you let go of the clutch. That's why you keep hearing me revving all the time on my first few miles in this bike. Low speed ability is, you can feel the heft, the size of this. Wow, that E36 is noisy. You can feel the heft of this bike. Of course, it's a luxury sport touring bike. This goes with against the Concours, some Harleys, yeah, the Goldwing, those bikes. Very plush. See, look at this, just humming along. This bike is good for you and your partner once in a while. If you rev the engine hard enough, you can hear the true BMW inline 6 engine. Their signature. Ooh, a GTA Trans Am. That's pretty cool. See, torque is endless, of course, 6 cylinders, and you can tell by its responsiveness, eagerness. Don't get me wrong, despite being a big bike as what it is, it tries to mask its heft, its size, by making it more nippy and making all the center of gravity as low as possible to be, so it can be as nippy as any of the GS models. I keep, this bike is so quiet, you can't. It's just so quiet. I can barely hear it. Okay. See, I'm not used to its hushness. There's the Delica again. There's the OG Simpson Bronco there. Let's change the suspension setting to dynamic. Now it's in dynamic mode, and then we'll change the throttle to dynamic too. There you go. Because we're on our way to our twisty roads right now, and let's see how it goes. Interesting. I'm having a hard time modulating the throttle on this bike. Oops. I'm gonna give them a little space so I can have fun with it, and also I'll keep it on second gear here since it's a very low speed tollgate track. So I can just lay back. That's a good thing about being in the last place. It can still play with you, just like the S1000R. It's a lot more stiff now. Of course, it's not as sporty as the S1000R, but everything is so smooth in this bike. It's not meant to do aggressive cornering per se. It's more of a long distance tour, highway. This is the bike I can go cross country or transatlantic or global Mr. Worldwide. But of course, it's more of a cruiser. I'd have this in any Harley, that's for sure. Look at that engine sound. Wow, he's taking it easy. I'm not gonna slingshot. I'm just gonna gradually catch up. See how it leans. It flicks very well. It really flicks very well. I'm impressed. At speed, this bike loses 300 pounds of it. See, look at the transition. See? It transits very well. I'm impressed. Given by its thicker price, of course it has to be very impressive. Oh my gosh, BMW never seems to amaze me. Yeah, this bike is too quiet for its own good, but that's not what it's meant for to people. This is a bike that you can relax and cruise around, eat miles in it. That quick shifter really spoils the heck out of me. It's just hard to gauge the clutch, see? It's so quiet and I can't gauge it right through passing by the Capitol. Okay. Yeah, the throttle is very good. It has that... No, not boring mode. Okay, there you go, road mode again. I'll keep it into dynamic mode, suspension-wise. It feels like when you blip the throttle, when you try to blip the throttle, it feels like it's delayed. Because this bike is so quiet, you don't notice it. And one thing I noticed too, of course, it's purpose. It doesn't accelerate as instantaneous as the S1000R. Duh. This is probably the cushiest bike I've ever ridden, bar none. The interface is a little cumbersome at first, but once you get used to the bike... Oh, cute girls. Okay, cool. At low speeds, of course, take note on the quick shifter. You gotta roll around between 3,500 RPM, or else just shift it yourself, because it gets a little bit clunky at one point. Okay, click. I need to learn how to roll this bike because it's not giving me any favors. It's trying to sneak attack me. But I like this bike. It's a bike I can use it long distance, not like the Harleys what everyone is using right now. It's so cushy. It's very advanced. I'm gonna do manually this time. So right now we're in pure road mode right now. In my opinion, just stick it to road mode the whole time, simply because it feels right. It just feels right. You don't need a dynamic mode with this thing. Oh, one thing's for sure also. I don't know if it's the way it's engineered, but the bike is a little clunky when you shift it yourself, if you don't use the Shift Assist Pro, the quick shifter. And also, in some moments... There you go, that's how you properly launch this bike. There you go, that's how you shift it. Oh, it went to neutral. Okay. If you're gonna slow down to a stop, you can quick shift it to neutral if you don't press your selector hard enough. And I like the FGR. The flares keeps hitting on my legs, but this one is very roomy. I sit upright, I sit very straight. This is straight, like armchair straight. But of course, this is a little sporting cruiser, so I'm not riding a GS. So there you go. Oh my gosh, it bounces. And railroad, nothing. I don't have to stand up like in a GS or the R90 or any lighter bikes. Of course, the FJR is better value for money, but unfortunately, the FJR is a little cramped for me. The Electroglide is cramped. The Chieftain is okay, but that's a true blown cruiser. This one is a sport tourer, so this is a little bit. It's a different animal completely. This engine is so smooth, so refined. If you're fully gunning it, the quick shift is the most effective. It's just. Let's see how far this windshield goes up to. Ooh, wow! This helps on the freeway. Of course, I'm not gonna do that since I'm in the road. There you go. I think what you do when you launch this bike is feather the clutch, then you use the throttle on this. Clutch first, then throttle, because you don't hear anything. It's like you're riding an electric bike. It's like the Zero EV that I've ridden. Yep, even though when you're trying to kick out, the flarings doesn't bother you. Everything is roomy. It's roomy for a sport tourer. It's not like the FJR, but of course the FJR is a different price range. Basically, if you're done with all the hooning, everything, this is like a retirement bike. This is a bike that won't sacrifice anything other than going off-road like the GS does. Well, the GS and this are a different spectrum. That's why I like it, but I won't. Of course, this is way outside my price range. I'll still settle with for the XR or a GS rather than this bike, because for number one, like, there's too much electronics here. I understand it's a luxury bike. Two, all the XR is all the technology I need, so I still prefer the XR over this. I still prefer the GS over this. But it's a cute pit bull. I rank this third on the premium BMW bikes. Number one is the XR, and then the second is the GS. Low speed ability is pretty good. See, I can navigate through slow speeds like nothing. And we conclude this ride, and we'll do some. Yeah. Weird that I never engaged the hill holder clutch, but oh well. Neutral, ritual, stop, let go, off, off. Oh, it's a touchscreen too. Off. There you go. Kickstand, we still have to look for it. And it has a center stand. That's a bonus. Alright. As any tall or wide bikes, you gotta use your pegs to get out, so you don't have to scratch those smooth saddlebags. As we go around in it, it's slick looking, adaptive headlights, so no more aftermarket on that. This one has an optional fog light over here, and integrated turn signals over here. Maybe it has angel eyes. I don't know why the BMW cars don't have angel eyes anymore, but this one has angel eyes. See, everything's so slick. It's like a Kamen Rider bike, but of course it's a very expensive bike. Alright, for highway munching bike, 2 thumbs up. But will this be my ultimate BMW bike? I don't think so. The XR still wins. So there you go. See you later.